Okay, so you've learned all the pieces of that explicit instruction model I hope you have in your mind. And now we're going to put it all together. We're going to look at explicit instruction and understand whether or not it's effective so you can think about that in your own practice. So to do that, we're going to identify evidence of explicit instruction in videos. We're going to evaluate whether or not that explicit instruction is effective. And then we're going to ask you to reflect on your own use of explicit instructions and lessons you're going to design. You probably have a model of explicit instruction in your mind. This should look familiar. If it does not, you should go back and watch the other modules because probably you missed all of this because it was right at the beginning of the part on explicit instruction. And you know that to help you understand how to operationalize these things, how to put them into practice, we have given you a big checklist of things. We're going to focus on the elements of the checklist as we go through this final module. Why is it important to think about these elements using this checklist within a DBI framework? As you know, students sometimes don't respond. If they don't respond, you then diagnose the problem. And often you will look at your instruction and say, you know what? The reason students aren't responding, the reasons that their answers aren't correct on their formative assessments is that I haven't done enough good explicit instruction. And then you're going to have to think to yourselves, what am I going to do in terms of changing my explicit instruction? And there are going to be a lot of options. So instead of thinking to yourself, I'm going to do everything all at once, that's not going to be possible. And you're also going to be able to, you also need to think, which of the things do I do best and which of the things do I need most help with? And it's easy to get lost. And that's why the checklist can help you avoid getting lost and figure out what is the best adaptation I can make right now to most effectively improve my instruction. So in order to get you ready to do that, first we're going to look at some videos of instruction. You're then going to have some opportunities to discuss whether or not these are effective by evaluating these examples. Then you're going to plan and execute and reflect your own lessons so you can complete this cycle of identifying, evaluating, and reflecting on your practice. To evaluate the lessons where you're going to see the elements of explicit instruction, you're going to watch a video clip. We're going to give you a timetable to jot down the elements of explicit instruction you observe. And then when you look at the evaluation of the lesson, you're going to refer back to the times you recorded and use that checklist that we've given you to evaluate whether or not the explicit instruction you observed was actually effective.